Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle, Reiki, spiritual healer. And so, what I have really been highlighting, on these, first couple of weeks of this year is the social injustice. The social injustice inside of the home, inside of the community, inside of the business dealings that has taken shape over time, by people actually engaging with the entity, thinking that they can have comfort and ease, luxury, something for nothing. A lot of them want something for nothing, and they want it at the expense of the chosen one. Not every person has the ability to understand that the entity wants your pain, wants your downfall. The entity wants you to go with it into the pits of hell. So I have given you many scriptures and we have talked about this, but as we talk about the injustices in our spaces and we start to cleanse that mote out of our own eye, that beam out of our own eye, and stop looking at the mote for just a little while with these other people. If we can cleanse the mote and apply the holy word of God, the holy books of God, to our lives, to our community, to our business dealings in life, then we will have cleansed the negative entity. We will have shielded the negative entity. And there will be only some of us who can do that, who can close this portal that the entity has opened. And I've been talking about this, and it makes me excited. The entity has opened it with different kinds of frequencies and attacks upon your mind. As we look into our community, we see how the young men act, the young fathers act, because they don't have a video game or they didn't get a video game for Christmas. This is directed at their minds. This is directed to make them violent. The frequencies, the attachments, the demonic entities that are put in these types of movies, these types of games, video games, and some of the movies have been derived from these video games. It is a personal attack upon the household. It is a personal attack to enslave the people in your home. It is a personal attack upon the people in your home for you not to be the best person that they are. And, in my understanding, that the only persons that we should, be afraid of is God, is have the fear of God. All other persons will carry the authority that God has given them. You fear what God has given the authority in this person, or I will have to chastise you. Very simple. A lot of us have distributed this type of, energy in our homes, where we are afraid of the people that is in our homes because we know that they are in alignment with the entity. And to be able to cleanse this energy, to be able to, not be afraid of the entity, but to be able to stand up and fight it with the means and the ways that God has given us, not in the same way that the entity is coming at us, not in the same way that the entity attacks us. We don't throw rail for rail. We simply cleanse this negative energy out of our lives, no matter who they are. I got to put that back down. That's my blanket, guys. But, we have this understanding. We have this understanding that, in order to see these people who are committing atrocities upon babies, who are sacrificing babies, who are sacrificing little girls, who are sacrificing little boys, just because they don't want to pay child support. Just because, they have the authority and the power to do so given to them by the entity. Just because they do not want to be exposed for not wanting to stand up and fight. They want to be a part of, the masculinity, the male, power, that male power of masculinity. And like I say, I have to talk to you like this because this is a male-dominated society. All others follow what the males have put up and put down as their authority. And that's what that means. So if your authority has allowed, your young girls or your young boys in your homes to become, emasculated for the men and to become, masculine for the women, your leadership is in question. So once we have put these parameters around us and we start applying the holy books to our everyday lives, then that disappears. The entity disappears. The portal is shut because we stop allowing those negative influences and frequencies, coming from other people, from the TV, from the internet, from these types of movies, these types of video games. And we stop denigrating ourselves. We stop, airing our business out. And that's why I always say, charity starts at home and goes abroad. I put different kinds of, videos on my Facebook in order for people to understand these are the things that you have allowed. These are the things that you have wrought with your hand and being in alignment, with the wickedness of this day and age. This portal has to be closed where, you're walking around in ignorance. You're walking around in arrogance and pride. You don't want to do better, but you want to be compared to other people. You want to be compared to the chosen ones, and you're not that. You're easily, influenced by these types of entities, these types of attacks upon your mind, these types of psychic attacks. And, there are, women who are readily available to become a part of that society by giving over their power, giving over into the entity. Because they want leadership and control. They want to be able to control people's emotions. They want to be able to control people, how they act in the business dealings, in the home, in the community, when they don't have that kind of authority for most of them. They are being, when compared to the chosen one women, they can't step out of that, false narrative that they put themselves in, where they're all dressed up as fake. Everything on them is fake. Their behavior is fake. They cannot calm down. They cannot lose their houses. They cannot lose their cars. Bad things cannot happen to them because they have given themselves over into the entity. Only ones that can deal with these types of issues and topics where the father is attacking the daughter, and she is blameless. She is blameless. The person that is under attack is blameless in the home. So these are the types of videos that I'm posting on my Facebook where you can see, the attack upon our society through these people who have given us these different kinds of instruments that we have been using under impulse, under the guise of the entity, and that we will have to be better, guided have guidance with using this type of knowledge and this type of understanding to break and close these portals, who have been given over into us, who have been opened by these people who want to siphon your strength, your mental capacity, who want to siphon the capacity of your children, who want to control your children where you no longer have control of your children. It's not just the narcissists and the demonic that want to do this. It's also those who have, sent this type of portal, these types of demons through the portal with the internet. Our governmental entities, the medical entities who want to siphon your energy. And they have been allowed to do this for a very long time. It started off with, those people who made the Ataris and video games and things of that nature back in the day. Having control, having that false narrative that you want to live in a false world, that you want to give yourself over into, you don't have to do nothing, that, you're going to put somebody else to work for you, and you'll just be able to sit up and receive the benefits, like queens and kings. And this has not been what's happening in our society. Our society has been degraded by these types of people who do not know how to lead, who do not know how to lead in the business situations, who do not know how to lead. They want to lead with the way that the entity, the colonizers have given them. And this is not the right way. They want to lead with arrogance and pride. And this goes for men and women who have given themselves over into the entity. And we are exposing the ones of us who are standing on our platforms, exposing these types of people in the community. These types of abusers, these types of demonic behaviors, these people who want to sacrifice our own people to enslave our people to the colonizers, to the entities, they are being exposed. So I hope that you have received this message. You can reach out to me so that you can book a one-on-one consultation, a live consultation, or a video chat consultation to acclimate a gift for healing and protection for your situation. Please donate to my channel, like, share, and subscribe. I'm High Oracle, Reiki spiritual healer. Assalamu alaikum.